The radar detected it at 4:47 a.m. Russian bomber, flying toward UK airspace. Close. Too close. RAF scrambled Typhoon jets, intercepted 50 miles from Scottish coast. Standard procedure, happens occasionally. Russians testing response times. Except this time was different. The Russian pilot spoke on open channel message meant to be heard. Tell your prime minister we can reach London in 12 minutes. Remember that. Then turn back. Mission accomplished. Not military threat. Psychological warfare. And it worked. Because Keir Starmer's response? Nothing public, nothing strong. Just quiet diplomatic protest Russia ignored. Vladimir Putin had just tested Britain, found it weak, and started planning next moves. How did it get here? July 2024. Labour won power promising strong defense and standing up to adversaries. Starmer's pitch: Britain will be a reliable ally, a strong NATO partner, unwavering against Russian aggression. Putin watched the election, assessed the new PM, made his calculation. This one's weak. Test him, break him, expose him. August 2024. First probe came quickly. Russian naval vessels entered British territorial waters. Navigation error, Moscow claimed. Standard response would be force them out, issue stern warning, demonstrate resolve. Starmer's response: private diplomatic note. No public statement, no show of force. Putin noted the weakness, prepared next test. September 2024 cyberattack hit British infrastructure. Power grid disrupted, financial systems compromised, government networks infiltrated. Attribution was clear: Russian state actors, same signatures as previous attacks. Britain's response: we're investigating the incident. No naming Russia, no retaliation, no consequences. Putin heard loud and clear: Britain won't fight back. October 2024, Russian agents were caught in UK. Not sleeper agents, active operatives, targeting defense facilities, photographing military installations, arrested, interrogated. Proven Russian intelligence. Standard response: expel diplomats, sanction Russian entities, public attribution. Starmer's response: quiet deportations, no public statement, ongoing security matter. Putin was laughing now. This PM was terrified of confrontation. November 2024 assassination attempt on British soil. Russian dissident living in London, poisoned, Novichok unmistakably Russian signature. Same weapon used in Salisbury 2018. Same Russian playbook. Britain had promised never again after Salisbury. Promised consequences for Russian attacks on UK soil. Starmer's response: condemned the attack without naming Russia. Called for thorough investigation, no expulsions, no sanctions, no consequences. Putin had crossed the reddest line: chemical weapons on British soil, and faced no punishment. The message to Kremlin: Britain is finished. Do what you want. December 2024. Russian bombers increased flights near UK airspace. Not occasional probes, weekly, then daily. Each time, RAF scrambled jets. Each time, Russians came closer before turning back. Testing response times, mapping defenses, demonstrating Britain's vulnerability. Starmer refused to publicize it. We don't comment on operational security matters. Translation: we don't want public to know how often Russia threatens us. January 2025. Putin made his boldest move. Direct threat delivered through diplomatic channels. British support for Ukraine must end, or face consequences. Not vague. Specific. Cut military aid. Stop training Ukrainian soldiers, or we escalate. How did Starmer respond? Called emergency cabinet meeting. Ministers presented options. Defy Russia, increase Ukraine support, show strength, but risk escalation. Continue current policy. Ignore threat, maintain status quo. Quietly reduce Ukraine support, avoid confrontation. Starmer chose option 3. Not publicly announced, just gradual reduction. Military aid packages delayed, training programs postponed. Diplomatic support softened. Ukraine noticed, asked why. Starmer blamed budget constraints. Russia noticed too. Understood the real reason. Threat worked. February 2025. Russian submarine detected in British waters. Not near territorial boundary, inside. Operating undetected for days. Mapping undersea cables, surveying infrastructure, demonstrating capability. When finally detected and forced to surface, Russian captain smile for British naval photos. Message clear. We've been here before. We'll come back. You can't stop us. Starmer's response. Classify the incident. Public never told. Can't look weak if public doesn't know you're weak. March 2025, then Putin attacked British interests directly. UK citizens detained in Russia. Bogus charges. Show trials. Standard hostage taking. Russia does this to pressure weak governments. Previous British governments refused to negotiate with hostage takers. Starmer started quiet negotiations immediately. What did Russia demand? End support for certain Ukrainian policies, soften sanctions, diplomatic concessions, and Starmer gave them everything, got hostages released, declared victory, British citizens home safe. But everyone in intelligence community knew he just taught Putin that taking British hostages works. April 2025, Russian disinformation campaign targeted UK. Social media, fake news sites, deep fakes, spreading division, undermining democracy, attacking government credibility. Attribution was obvious. Methods were clear. Source was undeniable. Britain's response? We're monitoring the situation. No counter-campaign, no attribution, no pushback. Russia was attacking British democracy. Starmer was letting them. May 2025 defense chiefs started publicly worrying. Retired generals giving interviews. We're not responding adequately to Russian threat. Former intelligence officials. Putin sees British weakness and exploits it. Military analysts. We're in most dangerous situation since Cold War and government isn't acting. Starmer dismissed them. These are complex security matters. We're taking appropriate action. Translation, I'm doing nothing and hoping it goes away. June 2025. NATO allies started questioning British commitment. Poland. Where is Britain's leadership on Russia? Baltic states. We can't rely on UK like we used to. Even United States. Britain seems hesitant to confront Russian aggression. The special relationship was straining. Britain's reputation as strong ally was collapsing. And why? Because Keir Starmer was terrified of Vladimir Putin. July 2025, 1 year since taking power. Russia had violated UK airspace, repeatedly attacked UK infrastructure, assassinated on UK soil, threatened British interests, taken British hostages, undermined British democracy. Britain's response to all of it? Basically nothing. Starmer had turned Britain into a target that didn't fight back. August 2025. Putin escalated further. Russian forces in Belarus moved closer to Polish border, threatening NATO ally. Article 5 implications. Collective defense at stake. NATO allies look to Britain's historically strong voice on collective defense. Starmer's statement, we urge all parties to exercise restraint. All parties, including NATO ally facing Russian threat. The equivocation was staggering. Poland was furious. NATO credibility damaged. September 2025, then came the submarine cable attack. Undersea cables connecting UK to Europe, critical infrastructure, internet, finance, everything, mysteriously damaged. Accident, Russia claimed. Except British intelligence had footage Russian submarine in exact location at exact time. Deliberate sabotage. Act of war by any definition. Britain's response? We're investigating the incident. Not Russia attacked our infrastructure. Just incident. Putin was laughing. He could attack British critical infrastructure and face no consequences. October 2025, Russian bombers flew directly toward London. Not near UK airspace, into it, heading for capital. RAF intercepted, forced them to turn back, but they'd penetrated deeper than ever before. The violation was brazen, unprecedented, indefensible. Starmer's response downplayed it. RAF responded appropriately. No condemnation of Russia, no consequences. Just RAF did their job. Defense chiefs were apoplectic. This was active aggression. Should trigger major diplomatic response. Starmer refused. We don't want to escalate, but Putin understood Britain would accept any provocation without fighting back. November 2025, Putin gave interview making his contempt explicit. Asked about Britain. They are not serious country anymore. Weak leadership? No resolve. We don't consider them significant threat. Direct insult. Dismissing UK as irrelevant. Starmer's response? Refused to comment. We don't respond to provocations. But it wasn't provocation. It was assessment. Accurate assessment. Britain under Starmer was weak, and Putin was exploiting it systematically. December 2025, intelligence services leaked their frustration. Anonymous briefings to journalists. PM ties our hands. We identify threats. He refuses to act. Russia is targeting UK with increasing boldness because they face no consequences. This government's weakness is making Britain more vulnerable every day. Starmer called it irresponsible leaking. Threatened investigations. Never addressed the substance. Never explained his strategy because he didn't have strategy. Just fear. December 20th, 2025, latest incident. Russian fighter jet flew within miles of British airliner. Commercial flight. Hundreds of passengers. Deliberate harassment. Dangerous maneuver could have caused disaster. RAF scrambled. Russians retreated, but message sent. We can reach your civilians anytime. Starmer's response? Classified it. Public not informed. Can't look weak if public doesn't know what happened. But Putin knows. NATO knows. Intelligence services know. Britain has a prime minister terrified of confronting Russia. Every test, Starmer fails. Every threat, Starmer backs down. Every provocation, Starmer appeases. And Putin keeps pushing, keeps testing, keeps attacking, because he knows Starmer won't stop him. December 21st, 2025 today. Vladimir Putin sits in Kremlin planning next moves against Britain. Not because Britain threatens Russia, because Britain is weak target that won't fight back. Every attack on UK soil, every violation of airspace, every cyber assault, every assassination, no consequences, no retaliation, no strength, just diplomatic protests Russia ignores. Starmer sits in number 10, telling himself he's being strategic and avoiding escalation. But he's not avoiding escalation. He's inviting more aggression. Because weakness doesn't prevent conflict. It encourages it. Putin doesn't respect Starmer. He despises him. Sees him as coward, hiding behind diplomatic language while Britain becomes target practice. The cameras turn to Moscow Putin with generals, pointing at maps, planning next provocation against Britain. The cameras turn to London Starmer in security briefings, hearing threats, choosing inaction. Two leaders, one relationship, complete imbalance of power. Putin acts. Starmer reacts or doesn't react. Britain suffers, allies doubt. Security deteriorates. Who wins this confrontation? The Russian dictator who understands power? Or the British Prime Minister who fears using it? The answer is obvious. Putin wins. Starmer loses. Britain pays the price. Every day Starmer refuses to confront Russian aggression, Putin plans next attack. Every time Starmer backs down, Putin grows bolder. Every weakness Starmer shows, Putin exploits. This isn't diplomacy. It's surrender in slow motion. And Vladimir Putin, just getting started. Because he's found something rare. A major Western power led by someone too scared to fight back. So he'll keep testing, keep attacking, keep pushing until either Starmer finds courage or Britain finds a new leader. Right now, Putin's betting on the latter, and Keir Starmer is proving him right.